So good afternoon to everybody, to all the participants from Europe and beyond. My name is Elena Montani. I'm the Deputy Head of Unit of the Unit Green Knowledge and Research Hub in DG Environment, and I will be the chair for this session today on the destination for clean environment and zero pollution. And together with my colleagues, we are here to reply to your questions. So let me start by presenting how things will work in this session, as in the other sessions, if you have already participated. So we collect questions through Slido. Don't forget to enter the event code, #CL6InfoDay, or to scan the QR code. You need to select this room for the session. And please remember to check already the submitted questions. So maybe there are questions that are already there to avoid duplications. You can also vote on the questions so that it comes up in the list. And very importantly, you need to indicate the topic identifier at the beginning of your questions so that we can cluster questions by topic. So this is an example below. Don't forget to put the whole identifier with, at the end, the number of the topic, in this case, zero pollution 02. Now, this destination includes 8 topics, is a bit smaller than others, so it doesn't have headings. I will not read all the topics because my colleagues will present them in details, but you can see that it goes from monitoring modeling systems and environmental impacts of agriculture crops, biotechnology, monitor of aquatic litter and plastic, microplastic pollution, EU-India cooperation, digital solutions, reducing pollution, and a specific one on substances of concern and emerging pollutants. I will give you a little bit of the policy context. As in the other destinations, this is also serving the implementation of the European Green Deal. In particular, we are with this call implementing the EU chemicals strategy for sustainability, also more in particular the topics on emerging pollutants like PFAS. We are also supporting the implementation of the Marine Strategy Framework Directive and in general of EU water legislation. We are also supporting the implementation of legislation on industrial emissions, which has also been recently revised, and the bioeconomy strategy, which will be revised by the end of the year by the Commission. There will be also an upcoming strategy from the Commission on European life sciences, which will be adopted very soon before the summer, and this will also serve as a basis for some of the projects. There will be an upcoming EU Biotech Act next year, presented by the Commission, so this is also to be taken into account in the picture, and the projects will also serve the common agricultural policy and in general the objectives of the biodiversity, EU Biodiversity Strategy 2030. Overall, this call is supposed to ensure that we achieve a clean environment, ensure water resilience, and enable the transformative change necessary to reduce air, water, and soil pollution to levels no longer considered harmful to health and natural ecosystems while respecting planetary boundaries. Here, a little bit of figures for this call. As you know, the call was opened on the 15th of May, and the closing date is 17th of September. We have 7 topics for this single stage, of which 4 are research and innovation actions, and 2 are innovation actions, and 1 is coordination and support actions. And we expect to fund in total 20 projects for a total of 58 million. For the 2-stage call, the call again was opened on the 15th of May. There are 2 deadlines. So for the first stage is on 4th of September, and for the second stage is the 18th of February. 26. I think here there is a mistake. We have one innovation action, and we expect to fund 2 projects. In total, the call will be for 10 million. And let me now give the floor to my colleagues to present the topics. First, I would like to introduce to you Lorena Korosec. She works in the same unit where I am, the Green Knowledge and Research Hub in DG Environment, and she will introduce to you topic number 1, which is innovative and advanced monitoring and modeling systems for revised air quality policies. Don't forget to put 01 as reference when you write a question. Lorena, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, as the title already suggests, I'm presenting a topic that is strongly policy-driven. It aligns closely with the European Green Deal, with the objectives of the Zero Pollution Action Plan, and more specifically, of course, with the revised Ambient Air Quality Directive. So, the goal of this topic is to develop innovative solutions to improve air quality monitoring and modeling by delivering the following expected outcomes. So, first, providing public authorities and other relevant stakeholders with better and cost-effective solutions to detect, measure, and assess air pollution, so enabling more effective monitoring. Secondly, it aims to enhance access to more reliable and faster air quality data and information, this way supporting science-based policy making and policy development. And also it aims to increase public awareness of local air quality issues, thereby promoting healthier behaviors among citizens and including vulnerable groups. By providing more accurate information, it aims also to support evidence-based access to justice related to air pollution's negative effects. Regarding the scope, we can say that it's closely linked in terms of the coverage of pollutants with the scope of the revised Ambient Air Quality Directive. So to achieve stricter limit values of the main air pollutants and address also pollutants of emerging concern in the future, several challenges will have to be overcome. And so this research topic really focuses on research and innovation areas to support the endeavors addressing those challenges. So we would expect research activities to develop or improve cost-effective monitoring and modeling tools, methods and approaches for various air pollutants. And by that, prioritizing measurement accuracy, including real-time monitoring, and also dispersion mapping. We would also expect research activities to provide methodologies and recommendations for designing optimal monitoring networks that would combine traditional methods with innovative techniques, for example, including with artificial intelligence and low-cost sensors. And in addition, we expect research actions to enhance the processing and integration of diverse data sources, so including in situ data, ground-based remote sensing, satellite observation, and so on. For this topic, please note that the GRC is allowed to participate as a member of a consortium. Then important is also that any satellite-based data must use Copernicus or Galileo EGNOS service. And also to mention that this topic is part of a coordination initiative with the European Space Agency. So research activities should coordinate with actions funded by ESA's Future Earth Observation Program. Just to conclude with this topic, we propose a research and innovation action with 10 million euro to be allocated to one selected proposal. Thank you. Back to you, Elena.
Many thanks, Lorena. Now I would like to give the floor for the next topic, the next actually two topics, 02 and 03, to Silvia Maltagliati. She works in the Green Transitions Unit in DG Research, and she will introduce to you this topic on environmental impacts from the production of agricultural crops for bio-based industrial systems, and topic 3, environmental biotechnology applications in service of remediation of polluted ecosystems. Silvia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Elena, and good morning, everybody, again. So, yes, the topic, in fact, focuses on the environmental impacts for the production of agricultural crops, which are grown and used for the production themselves of bio-based chemicals, materials, and end products in the EU and associated countries. And the aim of the expected outcome of this topic, in fact, is to increase the knowledge of all the stakeholders along these supply chains, but also the users of those supply chains, so including bio-based industries, and even to, and also to, say, share the best practices among the stakeholders, including the local authorities managing and authorizing the value chains. So the first task of this topic, so that the project should in fact tackle, is to select the most used agricultural crops for industrial uses traded in the EU and associated countries, but also traded from outside EU towards Europe and associated countries, and to assess the environmental impacts of those agricultural crops. To pay attention that this assessment doesn't cover the full life cycle and uses of this biomass, but just the production of the biomass for industrial uses. And then, based on this assessment, in fact, best practices should be collected and should be analyzed in order to allow for all the stakeholders and explicitly the bio-based industries to select those crops that show the best environmental performances. And in this sense, of course, this topic includes, in the multi-actor approach, the collaboration with all the stakeholders in the consortium, as well as international cooperation, especially, I would say, including with Latin America and the Caribbean, from where some of the most used biomass may come. And finally, I would, in any case, invite all the interested applicants to read back the full text of the topic in the work program. I conclude here. Thank you. And we go to the second topic, in fact, is a research and innovation action where activities should achieve at the end of the project technological readiness level 5. In this project, in this topic, the remediation of degraded ecosystems is addressed, and also considering many different ecosystems, and the developments of solutions which are bio-based, also enabled by biotechnologies, and integrated in nature-based solutions. As well, an expected outcome is the integration of such solutions in the national plans and strategies, or local plans and strategies for the restoration of ecosystems, as well as tackling the emergency situations where, in fact, other means for the remediation of polluted ecosystems should also be enabled by the use of digital tools, including artificial intelligence. So basically, the project should select case studies of degraded soil, sediment, and water, surface and groundwater, due to natural or even anthropogenic causes, and develop bio-based remediation solutions driven by biotechnology, as said, and then see how to integrate those bio-based solutions into nature-based solutions. As well as the risk assessment should be assessed, the risk reduction, should be assessed of those solutions from all the environmental, social, and economic perspective. And this means, in fact, that the social science can also help understanding selecting the case studies and understanding the impacts of the developed solutions onto the civil society. To be considered that JRC, in fact, could be part of the project, could also steer parts of the projects based on the expertise of the center, but also on the fact that JRC can act as an interface between policies and research. And coming to the emergency situations, in fact, in those cases, as said, the idea is that projects should develop models to enable the response to environmental emergencies, also through virtual tools, digital tools, in order to optimize the response. With that, again, I conclude, and thank you very much for your attention, and give back the floor to Elena. Thank you.
Many thanks, Silvia. Now I would like to give the floor to John Hannos. He works in the DG Research Unit on Mission and Partnerships, Oceans and Waters. He will present to you topic 4, which is focusing on towards a comprehensive European strategy to assess and monitor aquatic litter, including plastic and microplastic pollution. John.
Thank you, Elena, and good afternoon. So I'm happy to present to you the topic towards a comprehensive European strategy to assess and monitor aquatic, so freshwater and marine litter, including plastic and microplastic pollution. We have the rationale for this topic is that we have currently across Europe different and divergent approaches of how we monitor litter, both in the marine environment and the freshwater environment, and large data gaps persist, which is really hampering a comprehensive assessment of the pollution problem of litter in those environments. So what this topic is expected to produce is the development of a really pan-European and a harmonized monitoring strategy for both litter and freshwater and the marine environment, which sets out what to measure, where to measure, when to measure, and how to measure. Crucially, for its success, there needs to be this cooperation and uptake by the responsible environmental authorities. We've seen good advancements in harmonization, scientific methods, but these need to be applied across the board and with the involvement of environmental authorities to be effective. Then they can really support the implementation of EU policies, notably the Marine Strategy Framework Directive and the threshold setting that's undertaken there, as well as the Water Framework Directive, and contribute as well to the global processes. Here, of course, the Treaty to End Plastic Pollution is the key process where also global developments for developing monitoring systems are underway, to which this can make a European contribution. Concretely, it should enhance the data acquisition, which is still, we're still far from having the sufficient data, ensure better quality, assurance and control, and the more effective use of data from all kinds of sources, from source to sea. We need to improve the tools and sampling techniques, as well as sort of environmentally relevant reference materials, which allow us for better detecting, identifying, classifying, and quantifying plastic pollution, including microplastic pollution. While the main focus is on this plastic and microplastic, the emergence of nanoplastic pollution is, of course, also a big issue, and there this topic is expected to also support the development of more standardized analytical and effective methods for its analysis. To ensure that the data that is collected, the topics are expected to ensure this public accessibility of data and work with existing databases, EMODnet and others, in order to make sure that they are publicly accessible. this all will feed into the development of a really fit-for-purpose monitoring strategy across Europe, which is pan-European for aquatic litter. Importantly here is the inclusivity. So this is, we expect only one grant. If this is a truly pan-European, harmonized and standardized approach, this needs to be inclusive and it needs to cooperate with the responsible authorities that need to implement this. It should build on the existing work that's already underway, and in particular the technical group on marine litter of the Marine Strategy Framework Directive, but also of the different sea basin conventions which have been active in this field. And for that reason, of course, the Joint Research Center may also participate, who are strongly involved in all of this. I already alluded to this international cooperation. It is very much encouraged in this topic because we see the global treaty which is underway and the processes that are happening there to which this topic can contribute. It is a research and innovation action with 6 million euros, and I mentioned already that it's only one expected grant. And with that, I'd like to give the floor back to Elena. Thank you.
Many thanks, John. Now we move to the questions and answers session. So we will now show on screen the questions we received. We start with topic 1. The first question is, which air pollutants are in the scope? So I give the floor to Lorena.
Yes, thank you very much. I think the topic text explains that the scope is really based on the revised ambient air quality directive. So I will not mention all of the pollutants that are covered, but of course this includes the pollutants that we know very well and that have been regulated, but now they face stricter limit values. So PM 2.5, PM 10, ozone, NO2, and so on. Then, of course, there are also other pollutants of emerging concern and other aspects that also are now better integrated in the directive, and that some examples are listed in the topic text. So this would include, for example, ultrafine particles, oxidative potential of particulate matter, then also ammonia, heavy metals, and so on. But I will not mention all of them. So this is the text is the basis, and then the directive, the revised directive is the Bible for this. Thank you.
Many thanks, Lorena. Very exhaustive. Now the second question we have for you is, the topic mentions low-cost sensors. Does this include citizen science?
Yes, so the short answer is no. And this is because of the data quality and data comparability issues, because the aim of this topic is really to support the revised directive, the revised policy, and we really hope and aim to incentivize development, innovations that could lead to really high quality data that can be used for policy purposes, but also, for example, in courts for access to justice purposes. So the citizen science is usually not sufficient enough for that. But having said that, we do mention cost effectiveness. So this is an important aspect. We do hope to encourage cost-effective, innovative solution, maybe leveraging AI and other advanced tools to improve monitoring and modeling. And also in the topic text we have recommendations regarding the funding challenges and opportunities. So yes, cost effectiveness is important, but not the citizen science per se. Thank you.
Many thanks. Next question. Should the project address all the pollutants listed in the call, or would covering the majority of them be acceptable?
No, so there is no requirement to cover all of the pollutants. It really depends. It really depends on the tools and, of course, specific costs. So we leave it up to the researchers to define the best possible scope in that sense. So yeah, majority would be fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have actually the next, and maybe I take two questions in once because they are related. It was about the cooperation with ESA. So is a cooperation with ESA, and in this case, in this question also with JRC, mandatory, expected, and should they be involved in the project proposal?
In the project proposal, no. For sure, JRC cannot be involved in the project proposal. I think the same is for the ECA, so the European Space Agency. If it's mandatory and expected, it is expected to especially for the GRC, to look at it, to propose something in a proposal, even though GRC is not involved at that stage yet. Regarding the European Space Agency, it is also a requirement in the topics text. So yes, the proposal should explore possibilities and check the relevant actions under the ESA's program, so Future Earth Observation Program. Within the atmospheric science cluster of the agency to see how synergies could be maximized.
Thank you. With this, we cover also the next one. So we go to the question. Just a second, we bring it back on screen. What is the role of fair mode in this call?
Thank you for this question. I will give the floor to my colleague Guido, the policy officer from the Air Quality Unit. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorena. Yes, I'm Guido de Wild. I'm working in the Air Quality Unit. When it comes to fair mode, it's important to understand that fair mode is a cooperation between the leading environmental modeling scientists in Europe, coming from either ministries or the national laboratories that have been designated by member states or universities, academia, technology centers. And they are state of the art. They know what is there. The role of fair mode is very important for dissemination of results, I would say. So we would like to see the proposal to interact very clearly with fair mode to make sure that they know what is happening, that they can also use already interim results for their work at the national level, and also to make sure that the dissemination is reaching everyone in Europe. So that would be the most important connection with fair mode. So fair mode is not an official institution, but it's very important for the dissemination in all member states throughout Europe.
Many thanks. Now, just 1 second, we upload the questions for the next topic. Yep. So topic 2. First question is it only mentions agricultural crops. Can agroforestry systems also be included, or are they out of scope? Silvia.
Yes, thank you very much for this very important question. So the agricultural crops are mandatory. They are the only one mentioned in the topics text. However, of course, if applicants want to enlarge the scope of the topic, this is welcomed, but not mandatory. So won't be assessed the proposal on that respect. Thank you.
Thank you. The second question is, can crops with mixed uses, so both food and non-food, be considered within the scope, or must they be exclusively used for non-food purposes?
Another important question. So yes, crops with mixed use are in scope, in fact. Thank you again.
Now the last question yes. Okay. So now we can move to the next questions for topic 3. We see one question for topic 3 here. Very good. So first question is, should case studies be selected during the implementation of the project, or may they be selected at the proposal stage?
Indeed, the case studies could be better be selected preliminary at proposal stage and then integrated at project stage. So to anticipate something about at least the methodology for that selection. Thank you.
Many thanks. Then another question for you. Proposals should include a task dedicated to sharing methodologies findings with past funded projects. How can we identify these groups?
Thank you. And in fact, I understand that these groups means groups of projects. And in the topics full text, I mentioned at least 2 topics. One in 2021, Zero Pollution 0110, environmental services improved by remediation and revitalization strategies for soil, sediments and water. And another topic in 2023, still Zero Pollution 016, biosensors and user-friendly diagnostic tools for environmental services. So, for example, these are 2 examples, but they may be more than that, of topics under which some projects have been funded that tackle similar or related challenges. So there is some indications already. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. The topic's text says include a task in the project to develop bio-based solutions. Is only one task allowed to develop bio-based solutions?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify. This included task means that, in fact, one of the main tasks of the projects should be to develop bio-based solutions. So this may be done, say, along the whole duration of the project, and means exactly that bio-based solutions should be developed at the end, by the end of the projects, and should be then integrated with natural-based solutions within the project, in fact. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have a question on the GRC participation. Should they be included in the consortium budget?
Another important question, in fact, because the topic text says that the Joint Research Center may participate as member of the consortium selected for funding, so may be part of that. About the budget share, I suggest the applicants to provide the question in written, so that we can provide an answer that can be read by all the applicants. Thank you.
Another question, may proposals focus on only one type sorry. I think the question was actually for topic 1, no?
It was, yeah.
So we,
for 03.
okay, so we start with the topic 4. What is the difference between bio-based and nature-based solutions?
Yes, indeed. We mention often bio-based and natural-based solutions, and in fact, they may be slightly different in the sense that bio-based solutions are often mentioned as enabled by biotechnology, so they may be in fact, developed with biotechnology applications, including synthetic biology, where in fact natural-based solutions, they are defined in the UNEP for the UNEA 5, where nature-based solutions are defined as actions aimed at protecting, conserving, restoring, and sustainably managing natural or modified terrestrial, freshwater, coastal, and marine ecosystems, while simultaneously providing human well-being, ecosystem services, resilience, and biodiversity benefits. So in this case, actually, the natural-based solutions are not including biotechnology applications, whereas in fact bio-based do include them, and also the bio-based solutions could not really tackle the human well-being, but focus on the remediation of polluted ecosystems, not necessarily on the restoration of ecosystem services, not necessarily.
Thank you. So that was actually a question for topic 3, just to clarify. So now questions for topic 4. First one is it possible to have case studies both in marine and in river in the same project? That's for John.
Thank you very much for the question. It is very much encouraged and expected that the topic covers both marine and freshwater. It explicitly is called aquatic litter, which comprises both freshwater and marine. So we expect projects to really work on from source to sea and develop harmonized approaches across these two systems so that we can have a better assessment of litter in these environments. Thank you.
Many thanks. There was still, I believe, a question for topic 4. Give us the time to bring it back on screen. Yep. Here we are. Should automation and cost efficiency be an important part of the project? Can existing systems be improved and optimized for the application?
Thank you. Yeah, as the call text explicitly mentioned, we look for improving methodologies, including, where possible, autonomous sampling and rapid and reliable analytical methods for sampling litter and for analyzing litter. So very much automation and cost efficiency are here encouraged, and certainly if these strategies to monitor litter are to be implemented by environmental authorities, it is important that these are agreed and taken up by them. So there the cost efficiency is also an important part. Existing systems can be improved. The call text reads in particular to improve tools and methodologies. So it is not just about developing new ones, but really to improve existing systems. Here the call text also makes explicit references to developments that have already been undertaken in other projects, be it EuroQ-Charm, the JPR Oceans projects to that end. So we very much expect the project to build on the existing knowledge and existing systems that have been developed in this field.
Many thanks, John. Next question is asking if a system that can automatically collect large amounts of data on microplastics is to be considered a good contribution to the project.
Well, the overall ambition of this project is to make support a comprehensive assessment of marine litter and freshwater litter, so aquatic litter. So here, any methods, technologies, and approaches that are used should, of course, help to improve data acquisition and so on. So the more you can do with a single system is, of course, good, but you have to make sure that you develop in this proposal an approach for its overall assessment and the overall assessment across Europe. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a bit of a specific question. I read it anyway. Who do I contact if I would like to contribute to an existing automated sampling system?
Well, I think in the project you have to ensure that you show the existing techniques that are already out there, the existing systems, and you build on them and integrate them into a comprehensive strategy. So while individual sampling systems might be provided by different organizations, I think here the key is that you develop a comprehensive strategy that builds on different systems that makes use of the existing ones. So that is what this project has to show, rather than contacting individual sampling systems.
Thank you. Next question is asking if, so what clarification on building on Marine Strategy Framework Directive Technical Group, does it mean that it is restricted to current members of the technical group only?
This call, as all other calls, follows the standard eligibility criteria of Horizon Europe. All entities that can apply to Horizon Europe are also eligible to apply to this call. Work has been conducted by this technical group, work that is also public. The guidelines are specifically referenced in the call text in a footnote. So here it's very much an open call, but the work, it should build on the different work streams that are on the way, both scientifically and at policy level. So you need to ensure that you build on these developments.
Thank you. Next, not sure if there is a question. I read it. I have a system that can record a large amount of data in the field of microplastics for use on a few samples with high significance. I don't know if, John, you have a comment on this. Okay.
I don't see it as an explicit question, so I believe that's maybe for the applicants to consider when building their consortia.
Just as a complement for applicants that have very specific questions, we are also organizing a brokerage event next week in Warsaw, and the registration is closed, but they can have after that, I mean, the applicants that are there, and they will have a way to interact. The other solution is also to go to the national contact points.
Many thanks, Colombe. We still have a few questions for this topic, so just give us a moment to upload them. So another one for topic 4, could the contribution of harbors as a source of plastics into the sea be considered as part of the topic's objectives?
Well, the topic's objectives is to monitor plastic pollution. No? So here it's really about monitoring also the different sources, but also their pathways, their degradation pathways, their hotspots. So everything is to be considered. It's supposed to be a comprehensive strategy. So all parts in the main sources of litter are therefore need to also be considered in the topic.
Thank you, John. We still have a few questions on topic 3. May proposals focus on only one type, family of pollutants, or should several types of pollutants be addressed? That's on.
Yes, indeed. If this question is actually referring to the topic number 3, in fact, among the different kinds of pollution that may affect ecosystems, we mention in the topic text contaminants like heavy metals, other metals like the ones used in electronic devices, lithium, etc., plastics, and even organic chemicals, including PFAS, pesticides, and so on. So indeed, the range of pollutants that can degrade ecosystems is very broad. So it's up to the applicants to decide their scope in the proposals. Thank you.
Many thanks. Next question asks, what does integrating local, regional, and national plans and strategies for ecosystems restoration mean? Could you explain?
Indeed, thank you for the question, because in fact this project, this topic, is addressing the remediation of degraded ecosystems, but also the solutions for those degraded ecosystems, and analyze the risks connected to those solutions. And this assessment should be also part of the final recommendations and collection of outcomes and description of the best solutions to be also used by local administrations that are in charge of local or national plans for ecosystems restoration. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe just to add that under the nature restoration legislation, there are obligations for national plans on restoration, so this would perfectly fit under that process. This question is again on topic 3. Are there any eligibility requirements for the feedstock?
I would say that maybe this question is not referring to topic 3, so I would invite the author of the question to resubmit this and to reformulate, because I don't have the answer.
Thank you. And just to recall, that indeed, if you have follow-up questions or we haven't replied fully, you can still submit your questions to the Research Inquiry Service, and we will reply in writing. Another question for topic 3, is it necessary to address soil, sediment and water, or can the focus be solely on water?
Thank you for the opportunity to clarify that the ecosystems that were in the scope, in fact, can be chosen under the soil, sediment, surface water, water, underground water. So indeed, is not only about water. Can be, in the selected cases, could be any or many of those examples.
Many thanks, Silvia. And the last question we have, is it advisable for a non-EU partner to lead a core work package, or should they support rather than lead key tasks?
In that respect, in fact, we cannot provide suggestions on that matter, because the drafting of the work packages is indeed responsibility of the applicants. Thank you.
Thank you. So we close this first questions and answers session. Now we move to the presentation of the next 4 topics. I would like, just 1 second, we put the slides back on the screen. I will give the floor again to John, who will present topic 5 on EU-India cooperation on cumulative impacts of marine pollution on marine organisms and ecosystems.
Thank you, Elena. And again, my pleasure to present this topic, which falls under the EU-India cooperation and the EU-India strategic partnership and the EU-India Trade Technology Council on cooperation on cumulative impacts of marine pollution on marine organisms and ecosystems. Now, marine pollution is a particularly pervasive global problem, marine litter as well, with particularly high concentrations seen in European seas, but also in Southeast Asia and in India in particular. Therefore, we see this has become a priority for cooperation between the EU and India. The topic here is in particular expected to improve the scientific understanding of the cocktail effect of different pollutants, so the interplay between different pollutants in the marine environment. It should also help to understand the cumulative impacts of different marine pollution on both human and ecosystem health. So the topic follows a real One Health approach, which looks at impacts on organisms, on populations, ecosystems, and ultimately the effects it can have on human health as well. And it's by promoting cooperation between EU and Indian research and innovation communities, really strengthen the cooperation in R&I matters on this topic area. Now, in particular, its scope is to look at new analytical tools, better methods and sensors for screening, detecting, identifying and monitoring different pollutants in the marine environment. Here, many different pollutants are already in the environment, and here we really want to see how they interplay between each other, and thereby also really advance the assessment of risks, so the accumulation, the exposure of these pollutants in the environment in real conditions, and therefore their impacts that they have on the environment and also on human health. And a particular point is this analyzing the cumulative impacts and the combination that different pollutants have with each other, and of course also the interplay they have with climate change and thereby the changes that are affected in terms of bioavailability and toxicity of these different pollutants in the environment. And finally, assess also how different pollutants and accumulate in the trophic chain, how they bioaccumulate, how they are biomagnified, and how they're also then taken up, for example, in the seafood chain and species for human consumption. Now, of particular importance is this cooperation with India. Therefore, as a specific eligibility criterion, these proposals need to include at least one legal entity established in India, but these need to be included as associated partners. Now, the Indian government and particularly the Ministry of Earth Sciences of the government will make co-funding available for associated partners, so they can be co-funded as such. The instrument is a research and innovation action of 12 million euros, with which we hope to fund 2 projects, and please note that lump sum funding will apply for this topic. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, John. And now I would like to give the floor to Benjamin van Doorsla. He will introduce topic 6. Benjamin works in the research unit of DG Agriculture, and he will introduce the topic which focuses on providing digital solutions tailored to small and medium-sized farms to monitor and sustainably manage agriculture's inputs and natural resources. Benjamin.
Thank you. So I will guide you through this, the main aspects of this topic. This call is an innovation action with a budget of 8 million euros, and we expect to fund 1 project. But I will first explain you a little bit the background of this project. So why do we plan this project, and what is at stake here? So a key challenge for the agricultural sector is to provide food, but in a context of increasing global population, climate change, price volatility, but at the same time preparing for green transition. So the digital solutions could prove to be one of the options or tools to reach these objectives. However, still many small and medium-sized farms do not have access to digital solutions, access to monitoring and decision support systems. So, and that brings me to the main objective of this topic and also the title. So it's providing digital solutions tailored to small and medium-sized farms, monitoring, managing agricultural inputs and natural resources. So to achieve this, we propose, in fact, to work in different steps, starting as a first step, as you see in the scope, with the kind of inventory of digital solutions, analyzing how they can be adapted to the needs of small and medium-sized farms. And this should be followed by checking carefully the barriers and enablers for small and medium-sized farms. And in this area, especially the contribution of social sciences and humanities should be included. We also ask to set up a range of different support services to accompany this process. First one is to design a web-based database with all relevant information of the solution and a central service point to make a kind of match between interested business partners and farmers' needs. This should be accompanied as well by a network of research and innovation providers that could support the business partners in this tailored process, and also by a community of practices to share the experiences and facilitate exchanges between science and businesses. And last but not least, we foresee also financial support to third parties, which is expected to take at least half of this EU funding. So all these support services should bring us to the final step, which is to test a prototype in an operational environment. And therefore, we also ask that in this project to reach a TRL of 7 to 8 by the end of it. More details you can find in the call text, and so thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, please put them in Slido. Thank you.
Many thanks, Benjamin. And now I will introduce to you the next speaker, Cindy Schumacher. Cindy works in the Bioeconomy and Food Systems Unit in DG Research. She will introduce topic 7, reducing pollution from the food and drink industries. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you very much. So we are talking here about an innovation action about reducing pollution from the food and drink industries. So the budget is indeed 12 million euro for 2 projects, so about 6 million euro per project, but of course it does not prevent the submission of proposals with different amounts. So the objective really of this topic, and therefore the project, is really to contribute to the efforts towards zero pollution food systems. So as we know, contaminants have been accumulating in food products at different stages of the food system. It could be packaging, it could be food processing, it could be primary production. But here in this topic, we would like to focus more on the food and drink industries. So we need solutions, basically. We need solutions both in terms of innovation, but also because of knowledge gaps regarding especially the emerging and less known pollutants and their effect on the environment and on health. So with this topic and therefore the project, we really aim to contribute and go a little bit beyond the best available technique conclusions on food, drink and milk industries from the Industrial and Livestock Rearing Emission Directive. So for the expected outcome, obviously we need a better understanding of pollution coming from the food and drink industries, but we also basically need to provide, to get methods for food and drink industries, to measure pollutant emissions and then ultimately to reduce them. Last but not least, this topic has been developed in the context of the Food 2030 initiative, which is our research and innovation initiative to promote and to boost, let's say, a transition towards sustainable food systems. In this initiative, we have 11 pathways. One of them is on zero pollution food systems. So the aim of this topic and therefore the project would also be to contribute to achieve the objectives of the Food 2030 initiative. So for the scope, as mentioned, we would like to focus on the food and drink industries and the pollution coming from them. And then in terms of the activities, well, the proposal should really develop or put in place different activities depending on the type of pollutants that we want to consider. So for the pollutant that we cannot find in the best available technique conclusions, the proposal should develop measurements and mapping methods. Then for the less known or the emerging pollutants in the food and drink industries, the aim, well, the proposal should develop monitoring activities for them. And for the last, let's say, category, for the most relevant and the most prominent pollutants in food and drink industries, so for these ones we have more knowledge about them, here we need, let's say, innovation. So we would like to, we need to identify the most effective methods or the best available techniques to ultimately reduce this kind of pollution. And of course, we should empower consumers. We need to involve researchers, labs, national authorities, and of course, the food and drink industries. So in other terms, a multi-actor approach should be developed. International cooperation is strongly encouraged, and it should build on and expand the results of past and ongoing research projects. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Cindy. And now I give you, the floor again to Silvia, who will present the last topic, the topic on 2 stages, 0, 1, 2 stages, which is focusing on substances of concern and emerging pollutants from bio-based industries and products, and mapping and replacement. Silvia, thank you.
Thank you, Elena. And good afternoon again. So I'm presenting this innovation action, where activities, in fact, are expected to achieve technological readiness level 6 to 7 by the end of the project. So the focus of these topics are the hazardous substances emitted by bio-based processes and products. And the expected outcomes are basically to improve the knowledge about these hazardous substances and also how to deploy the use of safe and sustainable bio-based alternatives. So the first task of the project should be to track presence of these substances of very high concern, substances that are emerging pollutants, and also substances which are persistent and liable to bioaccumulate in ecosystems, which are emitted by bio-based materials and end products, but also by bio-based processes. And about the bio-based materials and products, in fact, the assessment of the release of the emissions of these hazardous substances should be assessed throughout all the phases of the life cycle of the products or materials, from the production, use, and end of life of the products. Then, of course, the assessment, the risk assessment due to the release of these substances is also part of core tasks of the projects. And in this case, again, the social sciences and the citizen science is encouraged as a research approach in order to understand which are the risks related to these hazardous substances, including the assessment of specific vulnerable groups that may be affected. Another main task is also to identify and improve the deployment of safe and sustainable alternatives which are bio-based in order to replace those hazardous substances, both at the level of industrial processes and at the level of final product. And whereas the number of these bio-based solutions is not, say, predefined, so it's up to the applicants to decide. And finally, I would like to recommend that for large industrial application, to share the approach developed by the Innovation Center for Industrial Transformation and Emissions in CITES, which has been recently established. I conclude here saying again that I invite applicants to read carefully the full topic text in the work program, and I give Elena back the floor. Thank you for your attention.
Many thanks, Silvia and all the colleagues. Now we moved again to the question and answer session on those topics. So we try to take them in order of topics. So first questions on topic 5. So for John, Should transversal activities such as management, dissemination, and communication be differentiated for the EU and India in separated work package, or a joint approach is expected?
Well, this is a question. Thank you for the question. As already replied to my colleague Silvia to a previous comment, we will not provide any suggestions on the division of work packages. This is solely the responsibility of the applicants to make sure that you select an approach which will make sure that you have an overall coherence and consistency.
Many thanks, John. Now, again, a question on topic 5. Could you please clarify how many Indian partners should be in the consortia? Eligibility conditions are not the same in Horizon Europe and in Indian calls.
Yeah, my colleague from the international unit, Antonio, will reply.
Hello, good afternoon. Indeed, it is compulsory to have one associated partner from India in the EU application. Doesn't mean, of course, you can have more associated partners, but only one is compulsory.
And if I may add, so if then applicants would like to apply for co-funding from the Indian side, they of course need to respect the eligibility conditions that are in the Indian call.
Many thanks to both. Another question for topic 5. Which TRLs the sensing tools are expected to reach by the end of the project?
Thank you for the question. We do not specify explicitly the technology readiness levels of this call. However, this is a research and innovation action, so these typically run up to TRL level of 5, but we do not specify this in this call.
Many thanks. Another question for topic 5. Will the evaluation also involve direct engagement at panel level from India?
I will also give that to Antonio to respond, please.
I mean, there will be a process of, there will be evaluation process, and there will be, of course, Indian experts might also be part of the process, but this will be in the usual way, of course, in an independent way, following the usual procedures under Horizon Europe.
Thank you. Next question. Is it expected to carry out comprehensive field measurements, or should projects focus more on effect studies?
Thank you for the question. The call text specifically says that it should advance assessments of the risks in real conditions. So I think this is important here, that we show that the levels that are actually present in the environment are considered. So this is, I think, important for you to consider when you design the different studies that you will be conducting and the different measurements that you're undertaking in the topic. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. Should proposals address all pollutants and effects listed in the topic?
Again, the call text mentions different pollutants such as, so I think it lists a number of different pollutants, which are of course very pertinent pollutants. These are not, it's not an extensive list. So I think you need to choose or to really demonstrate what are the main risks from the key pollutants that are available in the environment, and what are the key interplays between such pollutants. So I think when choosing those pollutants that you are addressing, you should make sure that you choose the ones which are both very present and have specific risks associated to them.
Thank you. Then again on topic 5, the question notices a different focus. Oops. On the question was on the different focus on the. Yeah, we come back to the question later. So we move to topic 6, so that we are sure to stay in the timing proposed. The question is, does it include development of new digital solutions themselves, sensors, etc., or just research of existing tools? And this is for Benjamin.
So thank you for the question. This call is on innovation action. So with relatively high TRLs, so 7, 8. So we want the digital solutions to reach that level of prototyping and testing them in the field. So in principle, I would say new digital technologies are not really in the scope. It's more like taking stock of what is in the pipeline, which is already in development phase, but that needs to get this last push to get it on the market and also adjusted, adapted to the target population, which is here in this case the small and medium-sized farms.
Thank you, Benjamin. Another question for you. Are there animal farms, such as fish farms, land sea-based aquaculture included in the scope?
The short question is no. But there are also in this work program 2025, if I recall well, there are projects in the mission Oceans and Water that are dealing with digital solutions that are more focused on aquaculture.
Thank you. Now we see if there are questions for topic 7. No, we're back to topic 5.
Yeah, there.
Okay. Here for 7, and then if we have time, we go back to the previous topics. So first question for topic 7, are greenhouse gas emissions also considered pollutants?
Yes, thank you for this question. So it's a tricky one, actually. Greenhouse gas emissions, well, these emissions are made of different types of components, and not all of them are considered as pollutants. So the direct answer of this could be no, but I would invite you to submit this question again in the Research and Inquiry Service, and we will provide actually a definition of what is considered as pollutant and whether greenhouse gas emissions are should be considered in scope of this topic. Thank you.
Many thanks. So now we move to the last topic, and if we have time, we go back to previous questions. So those are questions for Sylvia. Is the development of remediation technologies within scope, or only pollution reduction by replacement by safer materials?
Yes, thank you for the question. It's very clear, and the reply is that's only pollution reduction by replacement is in scope, so no remediation technologies. Thank you.
Many thanks. That was a clear reply to a clear question. Last question we have on the two-stage topic. The title indicates mapping, but the topic text speaks about tracking. Is geographical mapping of these pollutants expected?
Thank you again. This is an interesting question because indeed mapping and tracking in this context are kind of synonymous. But I would say that also geographical mapping, although it is not absolutely mentioned nor mandatory, could be an interesting, say, point to be included when addressing the assessment of the risks connected with these hazardous substances. So among the vulnerable groups could be also that the geographical distribution of this group is a part of the picture of the, say, social science angle. But it is not mentioned directly, so it is not mandatory for the evaluation of the proposals. Thank you.
Many thanks, Sylvia. As we still have 10 minutes, I propose we go back to some of the previous questions. So we have questions for topic 5. First one, a different focus in the Indian call text, almost exclusively focus on marine plastic litter compared to the EU side. Is this correct? Antonio, please.
Sorry, yes, it's correct in the sense they have to follow, of course, what has been indicated in the India call that has already been published. So, and that the focus is indeed on marine pollution, not only specifically on marine plastic litter, but as defined in the call.
Thank you, Antonio. Another question for topic 5. Is it mandatory that all the Indian partners applying to the Indian call are associated members of the European consortium?
I think this was the same question or similar question that I replied already. So there is only one requirement for one associated partner in the EU call. So of course there is no requirement that they have to be more 3 or more in the EU call. But indeed there is the requirement for 3 in the India call. So that's which is their own requirement.
Thank you. We have a question for topic 6, so for Benjamin. As most of the research and innovation results are in reality proprietary and not open source, how would you propose to build on them if we don't have access?
Well, the RNI results where you have access will only be in the repository or in the inventory. So for the Horizon Europe projects, it's clear that these are publicly available. Others are through publications or other. If you don't have access, then we cannot, or you will not be able to include them in the inventories.
Thank you, Benjamin. Next one is quite similar to what we replied already. Is it expected that the Indian consortium partners tackle mainly marine plastic litter? Do you want to add, Antonio?
It's all kinds of pollution, so marine pollution, so mostly plastic litter, but not exclusively so. If you check it, the India call as it is described.
Many thanks. Next one, still on topic 5, is selecting a hotspot in India obligatory?
Thank you for the question. There's no specific reference in the call text to selecting hotspots altogether, actually, so there's no obligation to select it. Of course, the call text very much is there's an expected outcome to strengthen and reinforce cooperation between EU and Indian research and communities, so it's for you to see how you can best achieve that expected outcome.
Thank you. Another one on topic, we move now to topic 7, so we are a bit more balanced. Is it expected to cover all 3 levels of pollutants, unknown, less known, and well-known, and corresponding measurement, monitoring activities, etc.? So,
Thanks a lot for the question. So, indeed, we need to cover, let's say, different types of pollutants in terms of how much we know about them. So, indeed, the less known or emerging pollutants and well-known pollutants, that's for this first part of the question, it's a yes, but then the activities regarding this type of pollutants will not be the same. For example, for the well-known pollutants, we already have a lot of information in the best available technique conclusions, so the aim is not to reinvent the wheel either. So for this kind of pollutant for which we know much more, the aim would be to really go beyond what's the knowledge that we have and put it in practice. And so then to develop methods really to reduce this kind of pollutants, then taking into account also the specificities of the different food and drink industries. But then for the others, so the less known or the emerging pollutants, for which we know much less, here, indeed, we need to develop activities about measurements and measurements more for the pollutants that are not in this best available technique conclusions, but then for the less known and emerging pollutants to really develop monitoring activities to simply fill knowledge gaps and know more about them. Thank you.
Many thanks, Cindy. We have other questions for topic 5. Does the call fund technological solutions to reduce pollution or focuses mainly on understanding pollutant pathways and impacts? John?
Thank you for the question. Indeed, the main focus of this topic is to really understand the different impacts of different pollutants, their interplay, their cumulative effects. So this is not a topic to reduce pollution. We do indeed, under the mission Restore Ocean and Waters, have specific topics that we are funding, and I'd invite you, the applicants, to look into that, into solutions for the pollution reduction. But this one is to really understanding and analyzing their impact and the interplay. Thank you.
Many thanks. Other questions for topic 5, the most popular. What's the role of new data collection versus using existing data via models? Is major new fieldwork required or discouraged?
The topic does not include any specifications for the collection of new data, and it doesn't make a judgment on that. I think the important part is that you demonstrate in this topic that you show the interplay of the different pollutants, their cumulative effects. Whether that's done through existing data or new data is not specified in this topic. What we're interested in is really finding out the processes, the bioaccumulation, biomagnification processes, and so on. So please feel free to or look at the call text, what's specifically mentioned there, yeah, then make sure that you propose ways to achieve all of these expected outcomes.
Thank you, John. We still have a few minutes, so we still take 2 or 3 questions. Do pollutants refer only to those with anthropogenic origins, or also to the ones from natural sources, like toxins, that impact new ecosystems as a result of climate change? Still for topic 5.
Yeah, thank you. Very pertinent question. Indeed, the call text explicitly refers to many anthropogenic origins of pollutants. However, what we are interested in is the cumulative effects, and in particular also the interplay with climate change. So there, any toxins that may be released or may be amplified through climate change processes and so on may well be considered. So anything that will contribute to more comprehensive assessment and of the cumulative impacts would be welcome.
Thank you. We have still some questions for other topics. Maybe we move to those. So for topic 3, is a proposal focusing on a sludge treatment plant with a new advanced technology that can remove PFAS and micropollutant suitable for this topic?
Thank you for the question. Indeed, in the topic, the focus is about remediation of polluted ecosystems, so not directly sludge treatment plant, unless the sludge is then spread on a soil. So I would say that, unfortunately, this is not in scope. Thank you.
So one question for topic 1. Can radioactive hazards be also considered for these projects?
Thank you for the question. So the scope in terms of coverage of substances of pollutants is the Ambient Air Quality Directive. So yeah, radioactivity and radioactive hazards, it's not covered in this legislation. But if you are in doubt for specific substance, please submit the question to the Research Inquiry Service, and we can then provide a more accurate and complete answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorena. Next, still for you. Topic 1, should the innovative monitoring modeling tools developed in the project be implemented in real systems, or a prototype demo would be enough?
Thank you. So I cannot really say what is enough, what is not, because the topic doesn't require a specific TRL level. So the consortia need to assess the technological maturity for specific tools, monitoring, modeling, and assess the state of play, how it is now, and see what is the next step. That's all. Thank you.
So one question for topic 4. To what level human health risks should be considered?
Thank you. So for the topic on aquatic litter monitoring, human health is not particularly part of this. This is really in relation to the implementation of the Marine Strategy Framework Directive and Water Framework Directive. So here, environmental health is the focus. However, topic 05, of course, we have a specific impact on human health as well.
Thank you. Another question for topic 1. This topic was said to be policy-driven. What does it mean? Should the outcomes be tools or policy actions? Lorena.
Thank you for the question. So yes, it is a policy-driven topic because it is what we aim to have is really to close the research and innovation gaps, to support policy and to support policy actions. So now we have the revised legislation, the revised Ambient Air Quality Directive. It was recently adopted and entered into force. And for that, we need more accurate data on air quality in the future. But it's not so obvious because we need also technological improvements to achieve better accuracy and more timely information, including real-time monitoring and so on. So we need innovations that could directly support and close those gaps that we have and we will still have for some time, also because of the regulatory developments. I hope that is a bit clearer. Thank you.
Thank you. We are uploading a few questions which came in the meantime. So on topic 7, are feed industries in the scope of this topic? Cindy?
Yes, thanks a lot. So I think if well, the topic should focus on food and drink industries. It's already extremely broad. It's already a lot of them. So if we want to make sure that we that the applicants, the proposals have enough means to develop activities that are already in place, requested, let's say, for this topic, I think we should not broaden the scope too much and include feed industries. Also, it's not mentioned in the topic, so direct answer to this question is no.
Thank you. Now another question for the two-stage topic. Is development of remediation technologies for the target pollutants in scope or only replacement by safer materials? Silvia.
Thank you, Elena. Indeed, I think that I already replied, so maybe this was submitted twice. So no, it's not in scope remediation. Thank you.
So we have many questions on topic 5, so we take some more of them. Should the funded projects complement or control each other?
Well, yeah, definitely not control. I mean, but I would say complement each other and work together. That's the idea of the concept. And in fact, in the Indian call, it is indicated that they should submit a joint scientific proposal for the work under the project if selected.
Many thanks, Antonio. Another one for topic 5. Should technological partners such as AI, MEMS, robotics, omics mainly support not lead the project's scientific and strategic direction?
Yeah, in line with our previous response, we do not provide any recommendations of how you set up your work programs or distribution of work between partners. You have to, in the end, show that you have an effective and efficient consortium which can deliver on the expected outcomes and scope of this topic.
Now, another one on topic 5, are sensors monitoring tools seen as solutions or just for understanding and policy? Should the focus be on Indian waters?
I mean, sensors and tools are, of course, necessary in order to gather data and to make the assessment of the risks that are present in real conditions. So I think here the focus is not on whether either or. I think the importance is that you analyze the cumulative impacts of the different pollutants at play, and which tools exactly you employ, we leave open to the applicants to propose the most relevant and effective ones. And the focus, we do not have prescribed a specific focus to be applied here. I think you need to select where you work on in line with the topic description.
Thank you, John. Another question for you. Should projects deploy long-term monitoring systems or just prove feasibility at selected sites?
The topic text does not describe any deployment of specific monitoring systems. So this is understanding the impact. So it's not about putting in place a monitoring system. So I don't think this is required by the core text by any means.
Thank you. Another question, is mitigation expected under this call, even if not stated? Should it be integrated via indirect means or stakeholder action in India?
If mitigation is not stated, then it is also not expected. So I think you provide the answer to your question and to a certain extent yourself. So this is not a focus on mitigation. As mentioned under the mission Restore Ocean and Waters, we have specific mitigation topics, but this is not the primary, or this is not a focus of this call.
Thanks. Can the EU-India collaboration projects also focus on studying litter across rivers before it reaches the sea?
So I think the topic here specifically looks at marine pollution and the impacts of marine pollution. This is what should be considered in proposals under this topic.
Many thanks. I suggest we take a couple more, and then in any case there will be the FAQ that you can look at, and also in case you don't find the replies there, you can also indeed write questions and we will reply in writing. So next question is, should tools models be tested in both India and the EU, or is one transferable case region sufficient?
The topic makes no specific requirement for testing tools and models in specific regions, so we leave that up to the applicants to show how this cumulative assessment of effects is best done.
Thanks. We have replied to the next ones already, so I will not take them. I suppose this ends our session. So I would like to thank all the participants for the very active participation, and we, as I said, there are also ways to contact us through follow-up tools, so do not hesitate also to look into the FAQs which will be put online. Here you have some contacts and ways to reach us. Don't hesitate also to contact your national contact points, and I wish you a very good afternoon. Thank you very much.